It's 8:47 on a Tuesday morning. You're running late. Not catastrophically late, just that annoying kind of late where you're doing mental math about traffic lights. You didn't make coffee at home because you hit snooze 3 times. So you swing through the drive-thru. Just a small coffee. Maybe a breakfast sandwich if you're feeling ambitious. It's $8.47. You tap your phone, grab the bag, and don't think about it again. Until the end of the month. When you check your banking app and realize you've spent $187 at coffee shops. In 30 days. On coffee. And suddenly, that $8.47 doesn't seem so small anymore. My name is James, and I spend way too much time thinking about the tiny financial decisions that add up to massive wealth destruction over time. If you've ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and wondered where all your money went, if you've ever told yourself it's just a few bucks more times than you can count, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, because today we're talking about the $100 convenience tax. The money you're bleeding every single month just to save a few minutes of effort. And trust me, it's worse than you think. Here's the thing. We've been trained to think about money in terms of individual transactions. A coffee here, an Uber there, a DoorDash order when you're too tired to cook. Each one feels insignificant. It's just a few dollars. It's not like you're buying a car. But that's exactly the trap. Because death by 1,000 cuts still kills you. And your finances are bleeding out from 1,000 tiny wounds you don't even notice. Let's start with coffee. The classic example, for a reason. A $5 coffee every weekday is $25 a week. That's $100 a month. $1,200 a year. Over 10 years. Assuming you invest that money instead, let's do the math. $100 a month invested in an S&P 500 index fund, earning a conservative 7% annual return. After 10 years, $17,308. After 20 years, $52,092. After 30 years, $121,997. You drank a house. You literally consumed a down payment. One sip at a time. Now, you might be thinking, James, I know coffee is expensive. I've heard this before. But coffee is just the beginning. It's the gateway drug to the convenience economy. Let's talk about food delivery. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. These apps have revolutionized how we eat. They've also revolutionized how we waste money. Let's break down the true cost of delivered food. You order a burger that costs $12 at the restaurant. By the time it arrives at your door, here's what you've actually paid. Service fee, 15%. That's $1.80. Delivery fee, $3.99. Small order fee if your total is under a certain amount, $2. Taxes, tip for the driver because you're not a monster. Let's say 20% on the original $12 plus tip on the fees. No, just tip on the food total. That's $2.40. So your $12 burger is now $12 plus $1.80 plus $3.99 plus $2 plus taxes. Let's call it $1 plus $2.40 tip. Total, $23.19 for a burger that you ate on your couch while watching Netflix. You paid almost double to save yourself, what, 20 minutes of driving? 10 minutes of cooking? You paid $11 for convenience. And if you do that twice a week, that's $88 a month. Over $1,000 a year. For burgers. But wait, it gets worse. Because food delivery apps have figured out something even more sinister. They don't just charge you fees. They charge you higher prices. Restaurants on DoorDash often list items for more than they charge in-store. Why? Because DoorDash takes a cut of up to 30%. So the restaurant raises prices to cover it. You pay more. The restaurant makes the same, and DoorDash takes their cut from both ends. It's a tax on not wanting to put on pants. Let's talk about transportation. Uber and Lyft have convinced us that not owning a car is financially smart. And sometimes it is. If you live in a city with good public transit, going car-free can save you thousands. But using rideshares for everything? That's a different story. A 2023 study found that the average Uber trip costs about $2.50 per mile. Compare that to the IRS mileage rate for driving your own car, which is around 65 cents per mile when you factor in gas, maintenance, depreciation. You're paying nearly 4 times as much to have someone else drive. And if you're taking Ubers to work every day because you don't want to take the bus, let's do that math. Let's say your commute is 5 miles each way. That's 10 miles a day. At $2.50 per mile, that's $25 a day in Ubers. Times 20 workdays a month, $500 a month. Pretty tips. Plus surge pricing when it's raining. Plus the one Friday night you took an Uber to dinner. You're easily spending $600 a month on transportation. A car payment on a modest Honda Civic is like $300. Insurance, another $100. Gas, $100. You're paying more to not own a car than you would own one. That's not convenience. That's math you didn't do. Now let's talk about Amazon Prime. I know. Everyone loves Amazon Prime. Free shipping. But here's the question. How many of those Amazon orders are things you actually need right now? Or are they things you wanted and bought because buying them required zero effort? A 2022 survey found that the average Prime member spends about $1,400 per year on Amazon. That's $117 a month. Now, some of that is stuff you would have bought anyway. But how much of it is impulse? How much of it is, I could get this at the store for the same price tomorrow, but ordering it now feels easier? That convenience comes at a cost. Not just the money, the clutter, the waste, the stuff you didn't need. And let's talk about the subscription creep within Amazon. Prime Video, Prime Music, Prime Gaming, Amazon Photos. You're paying $139 a year for Prime, then they keep trying to upsell you on additional channels, additional services, additional everything. Now let's talk about something even more subtle. The convenience tax on your time that you don't even realize you're paying. Grocery delivery, Instacart, Shipt, Fresh Direct. You're tired. You don't want to go to the store. So you pay someone else to go. And what do you pay? Instacart charges service fees, delivery fees. They mark up the prices of items compared to in-store. And then you tip. A $100 grocery order can easily become $130 by the time it arrives. That's a 30% convenience tax. On groceries, the things you have to buy anyway. If you do that once a week, that's $120 a month extra. $1,440 a year for not pushing a cart around for 45 minutes. And here's where it gets really interesting. The psychology behind all of this is absolutely fascinating. Because convenience isn't just about time. It's about mental energy. It's about avoiding decisions. It's about friction reduction. There's a concept in behavioral economics called cognitive load. Every decision you make costs mental energy. By the end of the day, after making hundreds of decisions at work, dealing with traffic, managing relationships, you're exhausted. You don't want to decide what's for dinner. You don't want to decide whether to drive or take the bus. You just want the path of least resistance. And companies know this. They've built entire business models around your depleted mental state at 6:30 p.m. This is why meal kit services exist. HelloFresh, Blue Apron, every plate. You pay them to send you exactly the ingredients you need to make dinner. No deciding, no shopping, no waste. Sounds perfect, right? Until you look at the cost. A typical meal kit service costs about $10 to $12 per serving. For 2 people, that's $20 to $24 per meal. You could buy the exact same ingredients at a grocery store for half that. Less if you buy in bulk. You're paying 100% markup for someone else to portion out your spices and put them in little paper bags. That's not convenience. That's a luxury tax on decision fatigue. Now let's talk about the gym. This one's personal for me. How many of you have a gym membership you don't use? Be honest. You signed up in January with good intentions. By March, you're paying $50 a month to feel guilty. That's a convenience tax on your future self. You're paying for the option to exercise, not the exercise itself. A 2019 study found that 67% of gym memberships go unused. 67%. That means 2 out of 3 people paying for the gym aren't going. The gyms know this. It's built into their business model. They rely on you not showing up. Your laziness is their profit margin. And then there's the subscription trap within fitness. Peloton, Apple Fitness Plus, ClassPass. You're paying for the equipment. You're paying for the membership. You're paying for the classes. And are you using them? Maybe for a month. Then the bike becomes a very expensive clothes rack. Let's add this all up. Because I know some of you are doing mental math right now, and you're probably getting uncomfortable. Coffee 5 days a week, $25 per week. That's $100 per month. DoorDash twice a week, $46 per week. That's $184 per month. Uber to work twice a week because you're running late? Let's say $30 per week. That's $120 per month. Amazon impulse buys? Let's be conservative. $50 per month. Grocery delivery once a week? Extra $30 per week. That's $120 per month. And used gym membership? $50 per month. Meal kit service? If you do 3 meals a week, that's an extra $30 per week compared to groceries. $120 per month. Streaming services you barely watch? Let's add another $50 per month. Add it up. $100 plus $184 equals $284. Plus $120 égale $404. Plus $50 égale $454. Plus $120 égale $574. Plus $50 égale $624. Plus $120 égale $744. Plus $50 égale $794. $794 a month. That's over $9,500 a year. On convenience. On saving a few minutes here and there. On not having to think. On avoiding effort. That's not a spending problem. 6. That's a wealth leak the size of the Titanic's iceberg. Now, you might be thinking, James, this is ridiculous. I don't do all of these things. And you're right. Most people don't do all of them. But most people do some of them. And the ones they do, they underestimate. A 2023 study found that the average person underestimates their discretionary spending by about 40%. You think you're spending $300 a month on convenience. You're probably spending $500. You think you're spending $500? You're probably closer to $700. The gap between perception and reality is massive. Here's where we need to talk about opportunity cost, because that's the real killer. It's not just that you're spending $9,500 a year on convenience. It's what that money could be doing instead. Let's say you're 30 years old. You cut your convenience spending in half. Just half. You save $4,750 a year. That's about $395 a month. You invest that in an S&P 500 index fund, earning a conservative 7% annual return. By the time you're 60, that money has grown to over $450,000. By the time you're 65, over $670,000. You're not giving up coffee. You're giving up $500,000. Is that latte worth it? Now, I'm not saying you should never have convenience. I'm not saying you should cook every meal from scratch and walk everywhere and live like it's 1850. That's not realistic. But here's what most people don't realize. Convenience is a spectrum. And most of us are living at the extreme end without even realizing it. Let me give you an example. Making coffee at home takes 5 minutes. It costs about 30 cents. Buying coffee at shop takes 2 minutes if there's no line. It costs $5. You're paying $4.70 to save 3 minutes. That's a wage of $94 per hour for standing in line. If someone offered you a job that paid $94 an hour to stand in a coffee line, you take it. But when you flip it around, you're paying $94 an hour to avoid standing in your own kitchen. 7. Cooking dinner at home takes 30 minutes. It costs about $4 per serving. Ordering delivery takes 2 minutes to tap your phone. It costs $15 per serving after fees and tip. You're paying $11 to save 28 minutes. That's a wage of $23.57 per hour for not cooking. Is your time worth $23 an hour? Maybe. But here's the question. Are you using those 28 minutes to do something valuable? Or are you just scrolling on your phone? Because if you're scrolling, you're not saving time. You're just paying to scroll. This is the hidden psychology of convenience. We tell ourselves we're buying time. But most of the time, we're not buying time. We're buying the avoidance of effort. We're paying to not have to decide. We're paying to not have to move. We're paying to stay comfortable. And that's a very expensive comfort. So what do we do about this? How do we break the convenience cycle without becoming a hermit who churns their own butter? Here's where we get practical. Step 1. The awareness audit. For 1 month, track every single convenience purchase. Coffee, delivery, ride shares. impulse Amazon orders, meal kits, and used subscriptions. Write them down. All of them. At the end of the month, add them up. I guarantee you'll be shocked. But you can't fix what you don't measure. Step 2. The 24-hour rule. Before you order anything for convenience, wait 24 hours. Most of the time, the urge will pass. You'll realize you can make coffee at home. You'll realize you can cook that pasta yourself. You'll realize you don't actually need that thing from Amazon right now. The 24-hour rule kills impulse spending dead. Step 3. The convenience budget. Instead of trying to eliminate convenience entirely, give yourself a monthly convenience allowance. Maybe it's $100. Maybe it's $200. Whatever fits your life. Once it's gone, it's gone. No more DoorDash until next month. This forces you to prioritize. Is this coffee worth using up your convenience budget? Or would you rather save it for a dinner out when you're really tired? Step 4. The batch cooking revolution. One of the biggest drivers of convenience spending is being hungry and having nothing ready. Solution: batch cook. Spend 3 hours on Sunday making food for the week. Portion out. Freeze it. Now when you're tired on Tuesday, dinner is 5 minutes away. No delivery required. Step 5. The coffee investment. If you're a coffee drinker, invest in equipment that makes good coffee at home. A decent espresso machine pays for itself in 3 months. A French press costs $20 and will save you thousands. Make it easy to make good coffee at home, and you won't need the drive-thru. Step 6. The transportation reality check. If you're using rideshares regularly, do the math. Would a car payment be cheaper? Would a monthly transit pass be cheaper? Would an e-bike be cheaper? Run the numbers. Don't assume. Calculate. Step 7. The question protocol. Before any convenience purchase, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Am I buying this because I genuinely don't have time, or because I don't want to make the effort? 2. What else could I do with this money if I saved it instead? 3. Will I even remember this purchase in a week? Usually, the answer to question 3 is no. Step 8. The friction experiment. Try adding friction to your convenience habits. Delete the DoorDash app from your phone. Remove your save payment info from Amazon. Make it slightly harder to spend money. You'll be amazed how much less you spend when you have to type in your card number every time. Look, I'm not here to make you feel guilty about every dollar you spend. Guilt doesn't help anyone. But awareness? Awareness changes everything. Here's the takeaway. The convenience economy is designed to separate you from your money. It's designed to exploit your tiredness, your decision fatigue, your desire for ease. But you don't have to be a victim of it. You can opt out. Not entirely. Not forever. But enough. Enough to save hundreds of dollars a month. Enough to invest for your future. Enough to stop bleeding wealth through 1,000 tiny cuts. The next time you're about to tap place order on a $23 burger, pause. Ask yourself, am I hungry or am I tired? Am I saving time or am I avoiding effort? Is this worth my future? Because that burger isn't just dinner. It's part of your freedom, and you deserve to keep it. If this video made you want to audit your own convenience spending, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to go deeper on the hidden ways modern life drains your bank account, check out the video right here. It's about the Wim's Boots theory and why being poor is actually more expensive than being rich. I'll see you in the next one.